stage here. We're going to be revealing the number one horror movie of all time. Who knows? It might be the same.
Probably.
So you want to...
Do I want to go?
Yeah, do you want to go? Okay. Number one.
Dracula.
Oh, okay. It's not the same.
Bela Lugosi. He is the most iconic Dracula.
No, he's not.
He's what you
Wow.
Dracula.
Yes.
Not.
Yes.
Okay. It's loosely on Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yes.
And it's about Jonathan Harker, who is a real estate guy, and he goes to Transylvania to help Count Dracula purchase some property in London, and Dracula becomes enthralled with Harker's fiancée Mina, and it's about Dracula manipulating Harker and Harker trying to save Mina from being internally damned.
Yeah. Well done for picking Dracula as your number one. But a little bit ago we were talking about your number three choice, which is pretty much the same plot. I feel weird about that because you're saying that it's the same story. It is, but one's better than the other, and you have them the same. It just seems really weird.
It's confusing here.
Yeah.
I actually sat on it for a while because I had this list.
On the DVD. Was it to make you taller?
Shut up.
Because one DVD is just not going to cut it. You need the Alien quadrilogy with all the special features. And then the Lord of the Rings on top of it.
Yeah.
And then you'd be about as tall as me.
And then all the Harry Potter. There.
And you have to be standing on all those.
Yeah.
And then you'd be as tall as me sitting down.
You're funny. So, when I made this list, I was sitting on it for a while, and I had, changed... I had gone back and forth in my brain on whether or not I wanted to keep it, because they're the same movie.
Well, this is my point.
But...
And I think Nosferatu is far superior. Doing more than what Dracula does with no sound.
But I'm keeping it the way it is. Well, obviously.
Why is this better than all the other ones then? Because this is nowhere near my top 10 list, actually.
Really?
No, I don't think it ranks...
Did you think this was going to be on my list?
No.
Really?
Well, I thought if it was going to be low. But then you said Nosferatu, so I'm like, oh, well, there's your vampire movie. Dracula. Okay.
Dracula is the movie monster. It's the one everyone knows. When you say,
King Kong.
Tell me a movie monster, no one's going to say King Kong.
I would.
No normal person is going to say King Kong.
I like the effect of having Bela Lugosi's eyes glitter.
Yeah.
I also like the actor who plays Van Helsing and making it a kind of... this movie's been done a lot.
Oh,
but
yes.
That battle of wits between Dracula and Van Helsing. My number one is The Exorcist.
Okay.
It's the first horror film to be nominated for Best Picture, the Academy Award. Didn't win, mind you, but...
It was nominated.
It was nominated. And there's only 4 in history.
Yeah.
Well, 4, but there's only 1. I mean, The Exorcist, but then there's Jaws, Silence of the Lambs,
Not horror.
and Sixth Sense.
Not horror.
No, it's just The Exorcist. Yeah. It's set primarily in Georgetown, Washington, D.C. Ellen Burstyn plays an actress in D.C. on a shoot in a new house with her daughter Regan, played by Linda Blair. Reagan's behavior starts to change. She becomes a little more violent, a little more hyperactive, and doctors think it's just nerves, a touch of the nerves. And when doctors say that in horror movies, it's usually something different. Ellen Burstyn becomes convinced through pretty much omission, ruling everything out, that her daughter's become possessed by a demon. So she comes into contact with a priest, played by Jason Miller, Father Karen. And to me, he's the lead. Even though Ellen Burstyn's the lead woman, he's the one I responded to because he has problems of his own. He's wrestling with faith.
Yeah, he was my favorite character.
Yeah. And He's an ex-boxer, and I was so happy that they portray him as a man who smokes and a man who does drink. Even though he's a man of the cloth, he will indulge in a glass of whiskey. You know, he's a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a person.
Yeah, he's a person. And so he starts to visit Reagan, and I think that the interactions between the demon within Reagan and Father Karen are even more hypnotizing and kind of intellectual than the conversations between Hannibal Lecter and Clarice.
Kind of.
Yeah, I think it's much the same thing. I think it's even better. And eventually they have to call in the great Max von Sydow, who plays Father Merrin, who's the exorcist. And it's all going to come to a head at the end where they have to go into the freezing cold, trembling bedroom to confront...
Which actually was kept freezing cold.
I know. I know.
Tidbit for you people out there.
Now, it's often ranked as the scariest movie of all time. I don't think it is the scariest movie of all time, but it is a film with performances like people we care about, and it has a complex story, and it's a film in the horror genre that just, it ticks all the right boxes. It has atmosphere, it has character, it has subliminal... projectile vomiting, subliminal blink and you'll miss it frames. Yeah. And Linda Blair, the little girl, is basically playing two characters.
She is.
And it's, I think it kind of ranks with Lon Chaney or Boris Karloff in terms of transformation, because she's a sweet little girl at the beginning, but then she becomes a very vulgar... This was a controversial movie back then, with having a girl with scenes of her swearing and doing stuff, crucifixes. Yeah. But I didn't find it gratuitous or exploitive. In fact, all the outbursts of the shock value.
Yeah.
It's once it happens, it cuts to the quiet moment. It doesn't,
give me time.
Yeah. And it's just scary in general. And it's the greatest horror movie of all time, in my opinion.